In the headlines, PDP Advisory Council shortlists Wike as running mate. Abducted Kwara Anglican bishop, wife and driver freed. NCDC records 36 cases of monkeypox in 15 states. And on the foreign scene, French troops capture Islamic group leader in Mali. Hello and welcome to Trust News Update. I'm Dashan Husseina Usman. Now the news in full. Rivers State Governor has been shortlisted as running mate to the flag bearer of the People's Democratic Party, Atiku Abubakar. Wike was elected ahead of two contenders from a mock poll conducted by an advisory council constituted by the leadership of the PDP Delta State Governor Ifeanyi Okowa, Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike, and Akwa Ibom State Governor Udom Emmanuel had been recommended by another committee led by General Aliyu Gusau. Based on his performance at the party's presidential primaries, party leaders expressed confidence in the capacity of the Rivers State Governor and will recommend him to the presidential candidate, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar. The Advisory Council will soon submit its report to the National Working Committee, which will in turn present the recommendations to presidential candidate. Meanwhile, the deadline for presidential candidates to choose their running mates has generated heated discourse in the polity. Wading into the debate, Governor Hope Uzodinma of Imo State says the choice of who they would run with would rest with those that have emerged presidential flag bearers of their parties. Governor Hope Uzodinma spoke on Tuesday with newsmen at State House Abuja, explaining that the choice of a running mate will take into considerations all the indices that would promote fairness and unity of the country.
Presidential candidate of the APC is probably faced with the toughest decision among all the candidates that have emerged. Being a Muslim, his clinching the party ticket has thrown up speculations of whether he will choose a Muslim running mate. Observers have pointed out that to capture what they describe as the northern vote, he must choose a northern Muslim. For some, that idea is completely unacceptable. But Governor Uzodinma holds a contrary view.
There is nowhere in the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria where religion is a factor or a characteristic as to who becomes the president or who becomes the running mate. But we are looking for a united Nigeria where governance will be the issue, where a president will be judged by his capacity to deliver.
And contrary to some speculations, he's quick to clarify that the people of the Southeast are looking beyond the disappointment of not producing the presidential candidate in the two biggest political parties. Rather, he says they are looking to get the buy-in of other regions to their cause, as no geopolitical zone can produce a president without the participation of other political zones.
We expected that now that power came back to the South, it will go to the Southeast. But you see, it's not a decision that the geopolitical zone alone will do. No geopolitical zone can become a president without the participation of other geopolitical zones. So when you don't get the cooperation, you begin to find out why, and you work towards getting the cooperation next time.
The governor also outlines the factors that should be taken into consideration while choosing a running mate.
In that ballot paper, there is no room for delegates to vote for who will be a running mate. So that explains why it is not a decision for the public, for the people. It is a decision for the candidate. So the decision of who becomes your running mate, if I were the candidate, what will inform it is what will I do as an action that will enable me to get the kind of votes I'm looking for. Because the ultimate goal is to win the election.
With a deadline for the submission of names of presidential candidates and their running mates some days away, the main political parties are already in some last-minute consultations over the choice of their vice presidential candidates. Those names must be submitted to the Independent National Electoral Commission by Friday. From State House Abuja, Kehinde Amodu, Trust TV News.
The Independent National Electoral Commission says it is ready to conduct a credible governorship election in Ekiti State. Speaking on Tuesday, Chairman of INEC's Voter Information and Education Committee, Festus Okoye, said the commission will deploy the bimodal voter accreditation system for the June 18 election. Okoye said INEC Chairman Professor Mahmoud Yakubu was already in the southwestern state. He said stakeholders would sign the peace accord on Wednesday. The abducted Bishop of Jeba Anglican Diocese, Aderogba Adeyinka, his wife and driver have been freed by the abductors. Bishop Aderogba, his wife and driver were kidnapped on Sunday at about 9 p.m. The vehicle they were traveling in broke down at an isolated spot on the new Oyo-Ogbomosho Expressway on their way from Yewa, Ogun State to Jeba, Kwara State. The police public relations officer in the state, DSP Adewale Oshifeso, in a statement in Ibadan on Tuesday, said that the massive deployment of police personnel and domination of the entire area by tactical teams put pressure on the abductors to free the victims. Oshifeso said that the victims were rescued unhurt by police personnel around 6:20 p.m. on Tuesday. The police spokesman said that the victims had been reunited with their family while investigation was still ongoing to apprehend the perpetrators and bring them to justice. Troops of the 26th Task Force Brigade on Tuesday found one Mary Ngoshe, who, according to the Nigerian Army, is believed to be one of the kidnapped girls from Government Girls Secondary School Chibok in 2014. This is contained in a tweet posted to the Nigerian Army's verified Twitter page on Wednesday morning. Ngoshe, who was found with a child believed to be hers, was intercepted by the troops while on patrol around Ngoshe in Borno State. Moving on, Aisha Al-Ali Wakil, popularly known as Mama Boko Haram, has been jailed 5 years without the option of fine by a Borno State High Court in Maiduguri for fraud. Justice Aisha Kumalia of the Borno State High Court jailed her alongside Tahiru Saidu Daura and Prince Lawal Shoyode following their prosecution by the Maiduguri Zonal Commander of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. The judgment was the climax of a trial that commenced on Monday, September 14, 2020, when the defendants were arraigned on a 2-count charge of conspiracy and obtaining money by false pretense to the tune of 71.4 million naira. They were said to have approached Saleh Ahmed Said of Shuwad General Enterprises Limited to deliver to them 3,000 bags of beans worth 71.4 million naira under the pretense of executing the supply contract. Justice Kumalia found that they committed an offense contrary to and punishable under Sections 1, Subsection 1B and Subsection 1, Subsection 3 of the Advanced Fee Fraud and Other Fraud-Related Offences Act 2006. The defendants pleaded not guilty to the charge. President of the ECOWAS Commission, Jean-Claude Brou, says the sub-region is winning in the fight against maritime insecurity, with Nigeria being removed from the piracy list hotspot. Brou made this known while delivering reports of the ECOWAS Commission before the ECOWAS Parliament during the ongoing 2022 First Ordinary Session of the Parliament in Abuja. Brou said that the win against maritime insecurity was notable, with a decreased rate of attack in the Gulf of Guinea following actions by member countries.
Globally, we were the zone having the largest number of maritime piracy attacks. Actions have been carried by the countries individually, but also at the level of regional coordination. And the situation has improved slightly to the point that Nigeria has come out of the list of countries having a high level of maritime piracy. We will continue to work at regional level with the inauguration of our Regional Coordination Center for Maritime Security.
Acting Accountant General of the Federation, Nemekwe Nwaboku, says Nigeria is borrowing money to pay salaries. Nwaboku said this on Tuesday at a retreat organized by the Office of the AGF for members of the Technical Subcommittee on the Cash Management in Abuja. Nwaboku said there is an increase in government expenditure due to rising security challenges and the social needs of the citizenry. The acting AGF called for deliberate efforts to revert the trend through fiscal discipline, economic diversification, export sector promotion, and plunging revenue leakages, among others, to ensure revenue inflow. You're watching Trust News Update. Coming up after the break. Nigeria set to host the World. Do stay with us. Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. Let's take a look at some of our top stories. We told you that PDP Advisory Council shortlists Wike as running mate. You also heard that abducted Kwara Anglican bishop, wife and driver freed. Moving to health, Nigeria Center for Disease Control has confirmed 36 cases of monkeypox in 15 states in the country. The NCDC disclosed this in its latest monkeypox situation report. According to the NCDC, monkeypox is a rare viral zoonotic infectious disease transmitted from animals to humans that occurs sporadically, primarily in remote villages of Central and West Africa near tropical rainforests. The affected states are Lagos, Adamawa, Delta, Rivers, Cross River, FCT, and Kano. Other states include Bayelsa, Edo, Imo, Plateau, Nasarawa, Niger, Oyo, and Ondo states. The Catholic Diocese of Ondo has fixed Friday, June 17, 2022, for the mass burial of those who lost their lives in the terrorist attack on St. Francis Catholic Church, Owo, Ondo State, last week Sunday. The Diocese Director of Social Communication, Reverend Father Augustine Iku, who confirmed the date of the mass burial, said it will take place at the church's new cemetery at Emure Road, Owo. While maintaining that the number of those killed is 40, Iku said the injured victims are still receiving treatment at the Federal Medical Center and the St. Louis Catholic Hospital, both in Owo, and some other private hospitals in the state. Nigeria's government Tuesday inaugurated a planning committee for the hosting of the United Nations World Tourism Organization Global Conference on linking tourism, culture, and the creative industries with the theme Pathways to Recovery and Inclusive Development. The global event, which is scheduled to hold at the National Theatre Complex, Lagos, is expected to bring together key industry players to brainstorm on contemporary issues plaguing the sectors. Trust TV's Shafiu Suleiman tells us more.
Nigeria got the hosting right for the inaugural edition of the Global Conference during the 64th meeting of the UN WTO Commission for Africa in Cape Verde in 2021. The decision, according to Minister of Information and Culture Lai Mohammed, was in recognition of the country's rising profile in tourism, culture, and the creative industries, not just in Africa but around the world.
The Nigerian film industry, popularly known as Nollywood, has become a globally recognized brand and the third largest movie industry in the world after Hollywood and Bollywood. Our music industry, just like its movie counterpart, has also taken the world by storm, while our fashion industry is so huge that it is bigger than the movie and the music industries combined.
Inaugurating the 24-member Conference Planning Committee, the minister says it will be assisted by 7 other committees to deliver a world-class event, as he enumerates some of the benefits derivable from the gathering.
Showcase Nigeria's tourism, culture, and creative assets. Project Nigeria's image as a safe and desirable destination for leisure and business. Consolidate on our relationship with the WTO and its member states. Highlight the restart of travel and tourism in a safe and seamless manner after the unprecedented impact of the COVID-19 pandemic.
He says prior to the COVID-19 pandemic, the tourism and the creative industries were fast-growing sectors with a value of over $1.47 trillion and $2.25 trillion respectively, but were greatly affected by the unprecedented COVID-19 pandemic. Mohammed said the global conference will serve as a catalyst to recover the losses. The committee, chaired by the minister, has amongst others Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Information and Culture, representatives of the Central Bank of Nigeria, the Bankers Committee. Shafiu Suleiman, Trust TV News, Abuja.
The Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps Gombe State has arrested a 25-year-old man, Nuhu Umar, suspected to be selling adulterated lubricants. Umar, upon interrogation, confessed to be involved in retailing of unwholesome engine lubricant for over a year in Gombe metropolis. Ibrahim Ismail reports.
These 8 drums contain lubricants suspected to be adulterated. The products were impounded by the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps NSCDC, Gombe State. The suspect, Nuhu Umar, confessed that he has been retailing adulterated lubricants from a Kano-based supplier named Habibu Ibrahim. I used to sell the lubricant. A jerrycan is 21,000 naira, while the genuine one is 25,000 naira. That is why we sell it. I know it is adulterated, but I sell it because it is cheap. I regretted my actions. It won't happen again. The Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps NSCDC said the suspect will be charged to court.
It is adulterated, and the in charge demand that selling the engine oil compares that. He says he knows that it is adulterated, but he is not the one who used to adulterate it here in Gombe. That they used to adulterate it down there with either mechanical or physical means in Kano.
Meanwhile, the engine lubricant dealers, Gombe State Chapter, has vowed to institute action against the suspected lubricant fraudster. We are not happy because it is against the principles of our organization. We have intelligence about such sharp practices. Thank Allah, the products were not manufactured here. It is not unusual to have adulterated engine lubricants in circulation across Nigeria. This is considering the fact that in the first quarter of 2022, the Nigeria National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPC, said millions of liters of adulterated petrol were imported to the country, a situation that caused nationwide fuel scarcity. From Gombe, Ibrahim Ismail reporting for Trust TV.
The federal government says poor financial support has been a major obstacle for effective implementation of the Great Green Wall project across the continent. The Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Environment, Hassan Musa, said this at a technical committee of experts meeting of the 8th Ordinary Session of Council of Ministries of the Great Green Wall member countries on Tuesday in Abuja. Musa was represented by Sagir El Mohammed, Press Director of the ministry. He said the recognition of the paucity of financial resources for the implementation of the Great Green Wall led to the several billions of dollars pledged by a coalition of technical and financial partners.
The need for mobilization of financial resources to actualize the vision of the Great Green Wall is glaring. Poor financial provision and mobilization has been a major obstacle to the effective and impactful implementation process of the activities of the laudable Great Green Wall Initiative in virtually all the participating member states.
In business, Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning Zainab Ahmed says petrol subsidy is hurting the nation and limiting the federal government's ability to service debt. The World Bank, in its Nigeria's development update launched on Tuesday, projected that fuel subsidy would gulp 5 trillion naira in 2022, more than Nigeria's 4 trillion naira subsidy budget. This year alone, NNPC has spent 947.53 billion naira on petrol subsidy payments. Speaking on the hybrid launch of the World Bank's report, the finance minister urged Nigerians to understand that petrol subsidy is causing a massive fiscal burden, thus impeding the country's economic growth. She said important investments in the oil and gas sector are being delayed because of the heavy fiscal burden of fuel subsidies. On the foreign scene, French military troops in Mali on Wednesday said they have captured a senior member of the Sahel affiliate of the Islamic State group. Spokesman for the Chief of Staff said an operation of the Burkina Force allowed the capture of Oumeye Ould Al-Bakaye. Al-Bakaye will be held by French forces for questioning for several days and then handed to the Malian authorities. His capture comes as France prepares to complete its withdrawal from Mali after almost a decade battling a jihadist insurgency in the country. France is to complete its withdrawal from Mali within the next few months when its main military base at Gao will be returned to Malian forces. Relations between Mali and France plummeted after the military seized power in Bamako in August 2020. And finally, in sports, Golden Eaglets of Nigeria on Tuesday defeated their Togolese counterparts 3-1 at the ongoing WAFU B Under-17 Championship in Cape Coast, Ghana, to qualify for the semi-final in the West Africa qualifying series. Nigeria had also defeated Ghana 4-2 in their opening match on Saturday. With this, we've come to the end of Trust News Update. Don't forget to follow us across all our social media platforms. I'm Dashan Husseina Usman. Thanks for watching.